Hello friends, and welcome to MissionViewfinder. Today we're going to be talking about the financial logistics of living as a missionary in the mission field, living by faith, what all that means. Stick around, we're going right now.
Where are we going?
To town to do some shopping. Sort of a, relevant thing to talk about, huh? So when you come right here, it's kind of hard because you can see that way, but you can't see that way. So you just kind of have to stick your nose out, and if there's someone coming, they'll honk.
One of the questions that prompted the topic for this vlog was a question from our friend Katie, and that was, how do you pay your bills? So what is living by faith? How does this work? And can anyone do this? Don't you just starve? We've never starved. We've never lacked the food that we needed. We didn't always have the food we wanted sometimes, but we've never lacked. God has always provided for us. We have friends, we have fellow missionaries who have had it a lot harder than we have. God has always provided for them. He's always come through, and they haven't starved to death. Yes, there's been faith testing times, but He's always been there, and He's always sustained them. For me, living by faith really became a very real thing when I was studying Thai in Bangkok. I was for the first time completely independent financially of anybody. I was living in an apartment. I had to pay my own electric bill, my own water bill, everything, buy my own food, and it was So the first couple months I had, there were people that were funding me and I was doing pretty good. And then I got down to the third month and I was like, I don't have any money. I don't think there's any donations. There was one donation I'd heard of coming. I was like, there's no way it's gonna be a big one. But when it came, it was just what I needed for that month. And then the next month, it was the same thing. I heard of one donation and it turned out to be just what I needed for that month. I was thinking, okay, if I don't have money, I can just quit school and go back to live with my parents, right? They'll always take care of me. They'll always feed me. I can always go live with them. But what really hit me was I trusted my parents more than I trusted God. I trusted in my parents' care and love for me, but I didn't have that faith to grasp that God would take care of me the same and better than they could. And so I finally just learned to surrender before I even knew what money was coming that month. I was like, okay, God, it's in your hands. I trust you. And He gave me peace, even though I had no idea if I was going to have money to pay my rent that month. And it was amazing, really, to see God working and to experience that in my own life in ways that I never had before.
There's two stores here that we're going to go to. One is Big C, and the other is Home Pro. Home Pro is a similar idea to a Home Depot, and Big C is a big department store. We're gonna try and get a thermometer, gotta get shampoo, gotta get a shower head, because ours is leaking like crazy, and we got to find a place to park.
Look for some random stuff for the house.
Yeah, random stuff for the house. I'm gonna park right there. I like to think of Home Pro as being the store where you escape the people with orange aprons, because they have a lot of stuff and they always like to try and help you, which is great if you need it, but if you're just trying to look at something, sometimes, okay, I'd like to just look. Of course, maybe that's just because I'm a little too independent, but anyway, yeah, got a lot of stuff that you need, and
we're headed out of here. It's kind of crazy in here, and Jonathan's actually on the phone right now, so we're trying to get out of here while he's talking on the phone, but we'll be out shortly.
Growing up, I had a lot of exposure to missions. We'd go to missions camp meetings and all sorts of stuff. But one of the things that I think was sort of subconscious was, I was hearing stories about all these people that were just stepping out in faith and, signing contracts for TV stations and all this stuff, buying, things when they didn't really have the money. And I think somehow I got the impression that you have to be doing it that way in order to be a real missionary. But God leads different people different ways, and it's not all a cookie gonna go overseas, it was like the money was just there. I know a lot of it came from my church, but like I didn't even ask people to give money. I said, this is a possibility of, you know, me going to Africa, and can you just pray with me that God will provide what I need if he wants me to go? That's all I said. That was that. And the money was just there. And so, well, this store has changed. And then when I was in Africa, you know, I had all the money that I needed, really. It was all there before. Then I went on this trip, you know, in Asia, and I didn't have a lot of money. God provided for me to just be able to go, you know, get the ticket and stuff. But then I remember, I'll never forget, so we're ready to go to India, and I had, I think, $100. That was all I had. And I was like, how is this gonna work, you know? Like, this is really stressful and whatever, but God provided. And when I left India, as we were driving to the airport, we were on this bus all day. As we were driving there, I spent my last coins to get a mango juice, and then I was completely out of money, of Indian money. I still had some Thai baht, but it was just like, you know, God provided what I needed, and not a bit more on that trip. But that was just the beginning.
I just found the cheapest oats I've ever found in Thailand, like $2 instead of like $2.50 or $3 for a kilogram. I know it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but it's a big deal. I can make granola.
We also got another question from Kevin over at Cross Culture Christian. It's the name of his channel. He said, how do you fund your travels / work, and what exactly do you do in the field? When I first started working with the organization that I'm working with currently, for the first 2-something years, I think, I was just a total volunteer. I didn't receive anything from them. And then I asked for a stipend because I wasn't able to pay things like my phone bill, and I was going more and more into debt, and I was not comfortable with that. So that's when I started receiving a stipend. And now, you know, the situation currently is I still receive a stipend. That's basically our living expenses. And then to travel, people can donate money to us through that organization, and usually whatever money comes through that, we use it for, like, you know, visa fees, immigration stuff like that, and then air travel or travel in general to get to projects that we're filming. So that's our current situation. So people can donate, and we really appreciate that. It helps. If we're asked to go film a certain project and we don't have the money to get there, then the organization will help with that. But we try not to do that, just because if we have the money in hand, you know, we're not going to ask for more.
So yeah, our situation is different than it is for a lot of people. But, you know, when God calls you to something like this where you don't have a consistent income, He will provide. And I've seen that over and over again. And there's so many other people that are witnesses of that too in their own lives. So, you know, deciding to be a foreign missionary without, or a missionary at all without a regular salary is not something you just jump into. You need to know that God is with you. Not just because of finances, but for every reason, you know, every aspect of it. When God is with you, you don't have anything to worry about, and it doesn't matter who you are, God will provide.
Random side note, so I got this sprinkler today. It doesn't look quite like the ones in America, and then this is to connect the hose. So I asked them, I'm like, is this the way it goes? And they're like, yeah. I said, well, that's different in America. So anyway, I'm gonna hook this up. So what we actually do in the field is we go to different projects. The ministry that we work for, they have a television show. It's like they talk about the project, and then they'll show a little video that we've done, or we don't do all of them, but we do some of them. So in the field, we're just there to film. That's really all we do. Filming, capturing those stories in a way that hopefully will impact people when they see them. And then we come home, like we just got back from the trip to India. We were there for a month and we came home with like 1.4 terabytes of raw video footage. And so now we have to edit, but we don't have very long to edit. So we're gonna try and, you know, just get as much done as we can before our next trip. So that's what we do in the field. And check this out. I'm gonna show you because this is cool. So like you just stick this on there, and then you put your hose in here. It's got this little thing there, and then you just screw this on. And that's got a real nice tight seal. And then this dealio, you just pull this back, pop it on there. It's all set. Let's try it out.
You know, speaking of financial needs, it reminds me of 1 Thessalonians 5:24 that says, "Faithful is he who calleth you, who also will do it." It's true for a lot of things. It's true really for everything. Not just finances, but every need that we have in the mission field. God is faithful to do what we need him to do and to provide what we need.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was a blessing to you. If you liked it, just give it a thumbs up. Let us know. If you have any thoughts, drop it in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. And if you haven't subscribed already and would like to join this Mission Viewfinder community, go for it and hit that subscribe and the bell so you never miss a video. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. God bless.